Hi, this is Robert Quimby, and I'm going to tell you about LaTeX. You can think of LaTeX as a document preparation system, or actually as a language, but essentially it is a way that you can format a document so that it will be printed in a nice way. So you create a document in a simple text editor, and then you compile that document, and it creates a nice PDF output for you. So there's a lot of commands in there to make very nice output, and it's especially good with doing mathematical equations. And this is the standard document preparation system that is used in the sciences, especially in astronomy. If you're going to write a paper, you need to know LaTeX. So in this tutorial, I'm going to give a quick introduction to LaTeX. We're going to talk about some of the tags that are available. This is how you mark up your data to say what is what, and what you want to be in bold, and what you want to be written in small characters, etc. We're going to look a little bit at the math mode in LaTeX, where you can make these beautiful equations that look like they're right out of a textbook. And then we're going to use Overleaf.com to actually start creating a LaTeX document. So the first thing you need to know about LaTeX is it is technically a markup language. So it is a language where you write regular prose, and then inside that same document you put in tags, and these tags will tell you what you want the document to look like. So for example, you might want to have something written in bold, or you might want to have larger or smaller fonts. So I've used tags here to specify which parts of the document I want to have those things, and you can do the same thing in LaTeX. After you write a document using your basic LaTeX commands, what you do is you compile that document and you produce your nice PDF output. So we'll see how we can do that. And there are a lot of different markup languages out there, like HTML and XML, but LaTeX is the one that's really the best at making mathematical equations. It was really designed for making mathematical equations look nice on the page. So there's some really nice tools for that. If you want some introductory material on LaTeX, there's a lot out there. I recommend going to Overleaf.com. They have some really nice documentation available there. They can get you started. You can learn about the LaTeX environments and different things like the math mode and how you do different expressions, and how you include images into documents and add bibliographies, and all that is in here. And there's a quick start guide if you just want to get started, and I really highly recommend you actually go through this and do this. So let's just cover some of the basics. First off, there are these things called tags, and that is how, as I've said, you mark something that is not going to be printed in your output document, but it's going to tell the compiler some information that it needs to produce your nice output. So it might, for example, you might want to put a new line somewhere. So you can use this tag. All tags begin with a backslash, and then you have the name of the tag after the slash. So this is a new line command. If you want to print that fancy LaTeX name, you can use the /LaTeX command or the copyright symbol. These are all different tags that you can do. Now, a lot of tags actually are followed by curly braces, and then inside the curly braces you could put some text that you want to apply that command to. For example, if you want to have an extended section of text written in bold, you can use the textbf command, boldface. And then in curly braces, you put what you actually want to be printed in boldface. So when the text is compiled, again, the compiler finds this tag and it says, okay, stuff in the curly braces, I'm going to make that bold, but it's not going to show the curly braces, and it's not going to show the /textbf. Right? And you can also, there's other commands like title, where you can put in things that are going to go in certain places in your document. Sometimes you want to apply a command to a block of text, so you can use the begin and end syntax to do that. So you say /begin and then some command here. This could be, for example, textbf, like we just saw, or you could begin a figure, or you can begin some other environment. And then you put in whatever you want to be in that environment, and then you can end it with a /end. If you want to put a comment in your document that you don't want to be printed out, you don't want this to go in the output, it's just a note for you or for whoever's reading your document, the raw document, to know what you're doing, you can use the % symbol. And so when the compiler comes across a % symbol, everything after that will be ignored and won't be printed in your output. So this causes a problem if you want to write, say, 100%. You need to know how to do that, so you need to know what the escape character is. and in LaTeX the escape character is the backslash. So if you really want a percent symbol to appear in your output document, you need to type /%. And so exactly, if you want 100% to be in the output, then in your document you type 100% with a backslash, and then the compiler will remove that backslash and just display the 100%. So at this point, it's probably easiest if you actually start doing something in LaTeX. So let's create a document in LaTeX, and we can do this using this website overleaf.com. This is a nice site for creating LaTeX documents. You need to create an account. I'm going to go ahead and log in. I already have an account set up. You need to do that. If you don't have one already, please stop now and go ahead and create a new account for yourself. You have different ways you can create an account. You can just create an Overleaf account directly, or you can use one of your other logins to do it. I'm going to use my Google account to log in myself, but do whatever is best for you. And then I'll take you to some your documents. It'll show you different projects that you have that you're working on, and these might be things that you're collaborating on with somebody else, or there might be new documents that you're working on. So let's go ahead and create a new project. It'll ask us what kind we want to do. We'll just start with a simple blank project, and it will ask us for the name. So we're going to just call this maybe my first LaTeX document, and it'll create a new document for you. So here's what we have. You'll notice there's the screen is divided into two different panes here. On the left here, we have the raw text that we enter, and these are all the commands and all the text, anything we want the compiler to look at, and then we can run the compiler, and it'll read all this, and it'll produce this nice PDF output file. So that's what you see on the right here. So you notice that the way this is structured, there's a begin document command, and that's where the document starts, and before that there's a preamble. So we have information here, and this has all been populated by Overleaf.com automatically. It's because we asked it to make a blank document, so it put my title in there and my name and the date. This is all the preamble, and once we have the make document begin document command, it actually starts creating this output, and it ends with the end document command. This is an important command as well. Your code will not compile without that. So what this does is it first sets up that we're going to have an article type of document. We're going to import a package here. We're going to set what the title is going to be, the author, the date. Then we begin the document, and then the first thing we do is make title, which produces this output here, or puts the title up and the author name and the date. And then we have a tag here which says section, and we have an introduction, so we've got our section here, and then there's nothing in there. If you want to add some text, let me put it over here. You can type whatever you want, and then you can recompile the document, and then you can see how the output goes there. So once you've typed something here, you compile, and the output appears over here. I'm going to set the auto compile to on, so that as I type, it'll notice that I've started typing. It'll automatically compile without me having to click anything, and it'll add that over here. So we can now maybe add some commands. Maybe we want to use that boldface command we saw earlier. So in my document here on the left, this is where I enter text. I can use the text bf command. It's got it set for me, and I'll put something in bold. And it compiles automatically, and there we go. We have something in bold like this. So you should play around with this and see how this works. We can add another section if we wanted. Or you do whatever you want. So you can add another section. You'll notice it's automatically numbered, section 2. This is part of what that section tag does. And there's so you can basically just type in whatever prose you'd normally type in, put labels for different sections, and then it compiles for you and have your output document. There's a couple things that you should keep in mind. One thing is quotations. So in LaTeX, the proper way to do quotations is to actually use double quotes, which we don't see here. That's not coming out right. You should have these backticks to start, and then normal text to end. So if I want to put in a quotation in my document here, oops, I can just say some quotes. And then if you just use the regular double quotes, let's see what this looks like. All right, let's put in double quotes there. It'll compile for us, and then we'll see the output doesn't really look that great. If you look at this initial quote here, it's actually going the wrong way. It's going the same way as the one at the end. We want this quote to be directed toward the text, like if you were writing by hand. If you were writing this out, you would have these lines curl towards the high and towards the there. The way you do this is with back quotes. So you put in 2 back quotes like that, and at the end you really should do 2 regular quotes like that, and then you can see that it's curling the right way now. So make sure you're aware of that. Math mode is very important. This is how we can actually input symbols and mathematical equations. So if I have an equation like the quadratic formula, ax squared plus bx plus c, this is how I write it in LaTeX. I use the dollar signs if I'm writing this in line, and then in line means like within a paragraph, not set by itself. And then I write down how I want the equation to be. So this is raising it to the second power. I have plus operators and equal sign. You put everything in dollar signs so that LaTeX knows this is math mode, and it gets outputted nicely. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over into my document here just to show you what that looks like. And when it compiles, you can see that we get this beautiful equation out with it looks just like it would look in a textbook. Just as a side note, you can do this also in Jupyter Notebooks. Just remember, you can type in dollar signs like that and it'll interpret it as LaTeX, and so you'll get pretty output here in your notebook as well. Another thing you can do is you can have an equation set on its own side, on its own line with a equation number. So I recommend you use this syntax here. You can use that begin and end we talked about before, and you're going to use equation mode. So you begin equation, you end equation, you put your equation in the middle. And we copy and paste this into our document. We can see what that does. It's compiling now. And you see we get this equation on its own line, centered, and with equation number 1 here. So if you want to include figures, I recommend you use the graphics with an X package. This will allow you to insert figures of different types. So you can insert PNG images or PDF files as an image. So the first thing you do is you need to add this use package graphics to your preamble. So I'll put this up here in our preamble, and then once you've done that, you can actually use it. So the next thing you do is you say you want to make a figure. This is we're going to begin the figure environment. I'll just cut and paste this in here. So you begin a figure environment. I'm going to have it centered on the page. I'm going to include a file. Now this file doesn't exist yet. I haven't uploaded the file, so it's just going to appear as a blank rectangle here. But you can see you can put the caption down below and it'll automatically label it for you. So if I wanted to actually show the figure, I could upload this figure using the upload command right here, and download upload some file to overleaf.com, and then it will appear here. So there's a whole lot more that you can do. This is just kind of the tip of the iceberg here. I really highly recommend, again, you do this Learn LaTeX in 30 Minutes tutorial. Just go to overleaf.com and just go through this tutorial. Make sure you understand everything. It's going to be redundant with some of what I said, but it's good to hear it twice. And there's some more stuff in here that you should know about. And so once you've done that, you'll be on your way. You can create documents in LaTeX. So enjoy.